Welcome back to my channel. I'm Queen Vic, a 20+ year commercial flight attendant, and welcome to part 3 of Lulu and my England adventure. Join us as we take a look around the castle and actually visit the town of Thornbury. What a beautifully relaxed day. The next morning, we just kind of kept sleeping. The front desk was kind enough to give us a call and ask if we were coming for breakfast and that they would wait for us. We were so floored that they would even do that. So we rushed around and got ready and had a breakfast that was definitely worth getting up for. After breakfast, we inquired about this rumored largest bed in the UK. The sweet receptionist girlie who checked us in said the room was not occupied and kindly took the time to give us a tour. The spiral staircase gave us quite a workout. Oh my God. Catherine of Aragon Tower Suite. Wow. Well, this is the biggest bed. Yeah. So is this one? Wow.
So it's the biggest bed in the UK.
Wow.
Yes, it's 10 foot wide.
Wow. So do you think it's 2 kings or something put together?
I think it's 2 queens pushed together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The suite is named Catherine of Aragon, King Henry's first wife and mother of Queen Mary. Of course, the room is beautifully decorated and fit for a king or queen. This bed is indeed the biggest bed I have ever seen. This room is often used by bridal parties and for brides to dress in. The view from this room is really quite exquisite. Yeah. Going down the stairs can be just as tricky as going up. Typical for the era, the stairs are so very shallow. It was mentioned that when brides come down in their dress, they have to go down without their shoes on to be careful not to misstep. I'm sure the same care was taken hundreds of years ago in the dresses worn then. Or they had much smaller feet, or maybe a little of both. After breakfast and checking out the largest bed in the UK, we headed out to tour the front of the castle. The overgrown ruins are definitely worth a look. The structure was being built to house a small military unit, but obviously was never completed. Makes for great photos though. Next, we headed to the church next door to the castle. It is a classic Gothic-style church with beautiful stained glass windows and honestly just a warm, loving feeling inside the church. The slightly hidden, overgrown door was previously used as a pathway back and forth from the castle. Not easy to get to anymore, but made for a pretty photograph. We even got a warm welcome from the church kitty. Obviously living life fit for royalty. After touring the church and the church grounds, we walked into the town of Thornbury. An easy stroll and really wonderful to see all the beautiful homes. We stopped into a little gift shop for gifties to bring home, and all the little conveniences were literally right at our fingertips as far as the town of Thornbury goes. Coffee shop, there's a grocery store if you want to stock up on your own personal items, and there's so many restaurants and pubs to choose from. For lunch, we settled on the Royal George pub. Classic, yummy pub food, and who doesn't like a nice toasty fire to sit next to? And yep, that's me tending to the fire. Anytime I'm sitting by a fire, I always like to make sure it stays lit. After walking the town for a while, we felt the need to find a proper British pub for happy hour. We just happened to walk into the right place. The Swan is a historic coach house and one of the oldest buildings in town. It has a classic, fun pub atmosphere, a sweet pup named Charlie, and 3 rooms to stay in as a B&B. The center of the pub used to be a passageway for carriages coming through town. There is a window that opens at the very top of the traditional square glass windows on one side of the bar. This used to be where the coachmen would purchase and receive a quick beer before moving on to the next town. In fact, to this day, on Boxing Day, people are still riding horses back through the pub to celebrate this tradition. After our visit to the pub, we walked the short distance, 15 or so minutes, back to the castle. I'm in the middle of the main street. Very quiet scenes, so I guess that's no fun for a lot of people. But for me, I love that. I've worked in the service industry for over 25 years now, and I prefer really quiet towns. So if I'm gonna be on vacation, this is my joy. However, I do love a good hopping bar where I get all dressed up and I'm sparkly and I have a fabulous glass of champagne or something. Oh look, there's 2 people eating. Huh. I think that's all that's going on in this town. So there are other things to do besides hang out at the castle, but even if you don't hang out at the castle, it's still really quiet here. I absolutely 100% felt safe. It was nice to get some fresh, cool air. The streets were empty and very quiet, but a beautiful walk. Thankfully, the lounge was still open and we had a little nightcap and hung out in the beautiful lounge before heading to bed and heading to London the next day.